Hi, and welcome to the ODO Power Brokers program. My name is Robert Gorby, the Chief Commercial Officer with ODO. I'm delighted to say that today I'm joined by Andrea Clegg Auriga Advocates, a road traffic offence solicitor. Andrea, thanks for joining the program. Great to have you on board.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be here.
Andrea, tell me, what are the key areas of road traffic offences that company drivers are most prosecuted for these days?
The 10 most common offences, the first one is speeding, with 189,109 prosecutions in 2018. Over 4,000 of those drivers were disqualified, and that doesn't include fixed penalty tickets that were issued or speed awareness courses. The next one, which is of particular interest to companies, is no insurance, with 168,964 prosecutions and over 2,000 disqualified. Vehicle registration and licence offences, over 100,000 prosecutions. Failing to provide driver information is over 93,000 prosecutions. And drink driving is fifth on the list with 534 prosecutions, and the highest number of disqualifications with 32,280 disqualifications. Number 6, failing to comply with road traffic signs, again in the mid-90,000s. Driving otherwise in accordance with a licence or without a licence, 16,001, with over 5,000 disqualifications. Number 8, careless driving, with over 12,000 prosecutions. Drug driving, over 10,000, which is a 93% increase on the year before. Now, that was from 2018, and the important thing to note about drug driving is that it is now surpassing drink driving, so it's becoming by far the more prevalent offence in terms of drug drivers. And the final one, which you can probably guess, is mobile phone offences, but that is on the decline, so that's good news. So they're the 10 most common. All will attract points, expose drivers to totting up and disqualifications as a result of that.
And what do you see as the impact? I mean, I guess, some of those numbers are pretty staggering, but what do you see as the impact of the drivers being prosecuted? So when you deal with businesses, what impact is it having on the actual businesses themselves when drivers are prosecuted?
Well, the first to consider is the impact on the driver, because that will then have a knock-on effect on how the company is working effectively. The biggest impact is financial, and that could be in terms of the financial penalties and the costs. But more commonly, what causes the most anxiety is the risk of disqualification and the loss of employment. That creates tremendous anxiety. The drivers are in a system that they're not familiar with. They're well out of their comfort zone. That adds to the anxiety. Lots suffer from insomnia, which then means they're not working effectively at work during that process, however long that is. Absence from work as a result of all this anxiety that it creates, and also having to attend court itself on a few occasions as a rule. And very often, drivers will represent themselves or get non-specialist solicitors representing them, and they end up with a conviction that could have been avoided. So moving on to the impact on the company, it's also financial for the company, with an increase in costs due to absenteeism, if there's a disqualification, recruitment, the cost of that, the cost of retraining. One of our clients, the cost, if the driver had been disqualified, would have been £40,000 to recruit and retrain and replace. And companies don't do those calculations, so they don't appreciate the cost of that process. Insurance premiums will go up. So, for example, if a driver gets over 6 penalty points on the licence, the average increased premium is 45%. So, significant increase in insurance premiums. And of course, one impact on the company for certain offences is that the directors can also have to take the hit, and they get the points on their licence. So, for example, failing to provide driver information, that will carry 6 points, and it could go on the director's licence. You only need 2 of those, and that director is facing a disqualification. The other issue as well is if drivers are exposed to a lot of offences, as you'll appreciate from the numbers I gave in answer to question 1, and there is nothing there in the company system, you're going to have low staff morale, and disqualifications have an impact on the remaining drivers, because normally they'll have to take up the slack, and therefore they've got extra work and extra pressure, which then has knock-on effects with their anxiety and absenteeism from work. So there's a whole host of considerations for companies to think about the impact not managing these sort of things will have on the company, all of which could be certainly significantly reduced.
Andrea, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. It's been a fascinating insight, some fascinating stats, some very interesting points raised there. So thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.